Are you ready to make your mark? At Make Your Mark, our goal is to introduce to you the people and ideas to help you fulfill your dreams. Today we have a story of somebody, from childhood at the age of 3, she grew up feeling unloved all the way up to she was an adult. And when she reached an adult, she went for many courses, went for many classes, and learned from many mentors, where finally within herself something clicked. And she was able to find what was the thing that was holding her back. And ever since then, when she found that little diamond that helped her grow, she literally found that giving abundance to the people, giving help to the people, planting really good seeds with other people and the surroundings and the universe, she has grown to be such an amazing sociopreneur. And the story that you want to hear from her, it's so amazing. Without further ado, let us welcome what I will say is the ambassador for abundance and positive thinker, none other than Fiona Li. Hi Fiona, thank you for coming down today.
Thank you, Andrew.
It's a pleasure to have you today. If you could tell your story, how you started off and how you grown yourself or gone through a lot of struggles and also grown to where you are today. That's a story I believe everyone wants to hear. So, by all means, go ahead.
Sure, Andrew. Thank you. For myself, currently I am actually also starting out my own business. I'm starting out some ideas of building communities because no child is actually raised by a single parent as well. So mostly we need to support each other to grow in a nurturing environment. For me, it was that about just after I graduated from university, I didn't want to work in a corporate job. That was something that I was very aware. However, of course, due to our daily lives, what we need to do, of course, so I had to work in a corporate company. So what I did was always had this idea of bringing people together, and that was what really drives me even till today. So because of that, actually, after going to learn from many different places, I discovered a lot more about myself. So not only just about myself in the professional sense, but also internally, because that is actually the driving force and the strength that we have. That is the most natural aspect of ourselves. That if every person understands and discover the elements of who they really are at the true nature and the heart, actually anything can be possible. Yeah, they can achieve really literally anything, any part of the dreams that they want to achieve. Personally, for myself, is that so throughout the entire journey, there was of course ups and downs. Most importantly, a thing that I learned was about how do we actually work on certain things or incidences which may have pulled us down in our lives. Since I was young, when I was 3 years old, and even to as young as I was 3 years old, I would say a part of it was that I had some imprints, and we are story-making machines in our minds, which, because of that incident which happened, and when I was young, I didn't know what to make out of it, and I felt that I was not very worth it. I had a lot of issues with self-worth, and I had a lot of issues with self-doubt, and a lot of issues with acceptance. So throughout my entire life, since I was very young, I was looking for answers. I was looking for mentors, teachers, even as young as I can remember in my primary school and secondary school days. And that was when we really understand. When I was about 26, I actually first started to come into contact with this book called The Diamond Cutter. And through that, actually, it helped me to understand, for example, today, let's say I'm very kind towards Andrew, and I actually am very generous to him, but it doesn't mean that Andrew necessarily will be generous back to me. But everything still comes in a full circle. It's just that it can be somewhere else, or another friend, some maybe, for example, like me, another friend, they come along, and then they might be the ones who become our benefactors, which we are grateful for. So that actually helped me to see another light or another direction of things, is that there's abundance in this world. Is not about the reaction of what we are receiving now, but it's more about how we can contribute and give to people around us, and then to grow and nurture together, support each other, and then to be able to accept that these challenges are just part of creating us to be a better version of ourselves. Yeah, so through that journey, identifying some of these obstacles and challenges as young as we can go, and when we are fully able to embrace and feel those emotions, to be able to identify them, and even to verbalize emotions. A lot of people in life, not just women, I think it's the same for everyone, is that we find it difficult to verbalize emotions. Like we don't, for example, I ask you how you're feeling now. How many of us actually ask people how they are feeling today? Usually we just ask, how's your day? What have you eaten today? What are the things that you have encountered at work today? But it's very much about the feelings that we need to learn to identify and resonate with them deeply, on a very deep level, that if the more emotions we can verbalize, the more we empower not only ourselves but people around us. And that is, to me, a very important key of what it takes for us to be able to embrace and accept ourselves and people for who we are. So through this entire journey, there are definitely ups and downs. But once I understood the key, which is to accept our emotions, to understand our emotions, to identify them, and then to use it to empower ourselves and others, I was able to gain a lot of clarity. And the clarity came in such a sense that we have to learn, or we have to really truly embrace the things that we enjoy. Maybe it might not make the money now, but if you are happy and you really enjoy doing it, the money will come. So we don't have to think of, well, when's our next meal? We don't have to do things based on survival anymore. And I never believed in that. I really don't. Of course, we still have our day things that we need to take care of, but that shouldn't be the thing that's driving us every day. So for me, now, what I would like to do is that I would like to create a platform for everybody to actually celebrate and rejoice the little things that they do, to curate inspiring stories of many different social entrepreneurs who have been doing work, not only in Singapore, in the region as well. There are many amazing Singaporeans doing that, whom I know personally, and I really respect and look up to them a lot, because they are the ones who are giving a lot of love in the community, in this world. And because of them, I'm always inspired and driven to do better. So my dream is to bring them all together, and also to create a platform to actually give people opportunities to give. There are many people who need help out there. They may not know where to get help from, or they may be marginalized community, or they just may fall through the cracks. And because they fall through the cracks, they are in a way neglected. And we want to shed some light to these stories. Giving is not about helping people who need help. I mean, in a sense that it's not about pulling them up.
Not reacting to them.
Correct, not reacting to them, but it's about how we nurture and encourage them to come out of their current situation. Because we can only feed people fish this much, but as the saying goes, if you can teach them how to fish, teach them how to grow and nurture people around them even, then that will be creating a better future for themselves and the people around them. So for me, that is something that I'm working on. And most importantly is that if everything may not seem to go your way now, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Go with the flow, but always keep in mind the intentions that we had. So a very interesting story that I would like to share was that 3 years ago, a friend of mine actually wanted to gift houses. And we were thinking, where can we gift houses? Who will these beneficiaries be, and stuff like that. So we chanced upon a Facebook post, and actually this post was a Cambodian monk. He was actually in the village, and it was flooding. So because of the floods, actually he was submerged in the water, and beside him was the roof of a house which was submerged entirely in the flood. So a simple picture like that actually sparked an interest in us, wanting to find out more. And through this journey, we discovered an organization which we could help to gift houses. And we didn't realize that for the past 3 years, with that simple intention of I just wanted to give people opportunity to give, not in Singapore, elsewhere in the region, is that we have actually raised a total of, till today, 57 houses.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have raised total of 57 houses with the help of friends and family and people we know of from Singapore, from Malaysia, from China, from Indonesia. So we didn't realize that we started an entire project which, with the simplest single intention, which was we just wanted to give people opportunities to give in whichever ways that they want to. And because of that, it spiraled into something which, to me, I really feel blessed and grateful that we are able to contribute to many of the provinces in Cambodia and to replicate this success. So that's the next step, which is to create communities, bring more people together so that we can create a bigger impact in this world. Yeah. So
that's a really powerful story.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for that story. I really loved it. It's a bit probably going to a sensitive part. You said there were incidents in your childhood life that when you looked back, it really impacted you. Like it was a really big event in your childhood life. Would it be okay if you share with the audience, like what's the thing that, or the pain that caused you when you were a child?
I think, okay, first and foremost, I need to share that this is my perception and my personal version of the story. And after understanding the story, I really felt I'm very grateful for my parents because although these incidences, they played a role in it, but it has actually helped me in ways that I could never have imagined. It has given me a lot of strength, a lot of courage. It has given me the courage to be here. I mean, even doing this interview today. So for me, when I was 3 years old, I used to have two doors in my home, in my old home, and there were two areas where we could exit and enter to the house. So what happened was one of the doors were leading outside from the dining room, and it had a little access area, so there was a little space. And then there was another door that goes out through the kitchen. So from my perspective, when I was 3 years old, I was crying, I was upset. I felt that I wanted to be taken care of, that I needed attention when I was young. And when I literally was at the dining room gate area and I saw my father walk out of the kitchen door to actually go out to meet his friends, I think. But at that point of time, all I could feel emotionally was that I felt that I wasn't good enough. I felt that I wasn't worth the time of my father. That's why he wanted to spend more time with his friends or whoever outside. And that incident actually triggered a lot of things for me. It triggered to the point that I wasn't able to have a very close relationship with my father. And because of that, there were a lot of challenges that I faced in school and my personal life as well. So I was never good enough in many aspects. I was always trying to be accepted, to be the person that people wanted me to be. Yeah, I was trying to meet up to my parents' expectations. I was to be the model student. I tried my best, and I always tried to be a perfectionist. But because of that, it was very difficult because I struggled a lot with rejections. I struggled a lot with challenges and obstacles when I didn't know how to handle. So that was when I was in my early secondary school time, and another incident occurred. And this incident was about, when kids are young, usually they're at home, and sometimes our parents don't want us to hear what they are talking about when it's about us, right? So what happened was that my parents were talking about us when we were supposed to be sleeping. And me being very curious, actually I wanted to eavesdrop on what they were trying to say. And that night left a very, very big impression on me, in the sense that the conversation was about my parents basically you were listening to some feng shui master or something along those lines, and basically that they wouldn't have been able to see me succeed in their lifetime, my parents' lifetime. And my parents, at that point of time, they just took it as it is. And after that incident for me, I was fighting a lot of looking for the answers in my life since I was very young, like secondary school time. So I always look for mentors, look for answers, look for books, look for people, anybody who could give me something. And it was through this entire discovery journey that I met mentors, and when I told them the same story, they felt the pain as well. They felt that must have been the biggest rejection they have faced in your life. I was like, it didn't strike me that way, but when they verbalized it and they shared with me their perspective, I realized that it's true. Because I realized that my parents, maybe that time I feel, my parents didn't see the potential that I could be successful. Yeah. So that was how I always became the nearly person. I was always nominated, maybe like top 3 of the best cadet. Yeah, I was always driven to almost be there, but I was never able to break through. I was never able to say, I was never able to be the first person. I was never able to be standing out there. And I believe many people will resonate on this as well. Sometimes we give in all the best that we can, but yet we are not being recognized for our efforts. We are not being appreciated.
Something's holding you back.
Yeah, something's holding us back, or we just we don't even know why we are like that. Yeah. So then, after embracing and understanding these situations when I was young, a very big part of me suddenly lit up. Was that I discovered the fear of success that I had. That I was very, very afraid to be successful. I had an innate fear of success.
Okay.
Yeah, but because of this innate fear, it can become the most empowering thing that we have, and which is why I decided, just go with it, just go with the flow, bearing the purest intentions that we have, the intention of contribution, the intentions of helping others, nurturing, bringing people up together. And that has kept me going for many years now. Things are coming together already. I feel things are coming together finally. And we have opportunities to share. I mean, I'm of course definitely very grateful to Andrew, Yaya and the team for us to be here, to actually share with all of you what it takes to be the best version of who you are. Yeah. And you start to see more smiling faces. It's unexplainable, but it works. So just try it, because I've had many friends who, for me, was harmony. So the first thing that was the issue I identified was my relationship with my father. So I actually tried to sow seeds of harmony, to actually be very mindful about bringing people together. And that has helped me to create not only better relationships with my family, but it has also helped me to see that my families could go on trips together. We could organize trips for even 24 of my relatives, my uncles, cousins, and everybody. And these trips that just keeps continuing. Yeah. So all these beautiful things around us, and of course recently we have, baby cousins coming on board, and all these beautiful, harmonious relationships of the families just come together. So it depends on, it's a very simple thing of just tweaking our intentions. Just really be mindful and be aware of what we are thinking, what we are saying, and what we are even doing for others. Totally. So that actually shifts many things in life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a saying, your thoughts leads to your feelings, which leads to your actions, and which also leads to your results.
Yes.
And literally catching your thoughts, is it a good intention or is it a bad intention? Whether it's anger or is it, hate or, something that you just don't like, or do you think, oh, maybe, let's really help this person. And because you catch it at that first stage, the feelings that is surrounding that thoughts help move towards the positive side of things. things, and of course that's where the results
Yeah.
come in. It's really interesting, I mean, what you said, what we read a lot of books and all this, and somehow everything is just flowing together. And I think that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that really story. I can totally relate. As a parent of two beautiful girls, I'm always very careful with what I want to say. But at the same time, rather than being a parent and seclude the kids, I find that it's good to talk to the kids, even like an adult, like a friend. And I think because of that intention that I had from the beginning, I really feel that my relationship with my daughters are really, really good. And I just love having fun. That's the beauty of being a parent.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I basically got two more questions. So I'll just go with the first question. So first question is, so in the next, couple of years, what do you plan to do, in terms of, your life and how you want to, so-called, move towards? Where do you want to move towards?
I think I'm very grateful because we have been blessed with many gifts. Meditations are one of them. And through practicing meditations and doing yoga and understanding that meditations can actually give us a lot of creative sparks. And for me, it has been insane this past year. The ideas that we get is phenomenal. One of the parts of the meditations which created visualizations for me was that because of this house building project that we have in Cambodia, a dream of mine was to create a mini retreat center in Cambodia to actually be a place for people to discover themselves. Whether it's inner-wise, can be through practice of meditations, for example, or externally for practices of yoga, through practices of maybe even diving, learning skills and stuff like that, for people to really discover themselves. And that has been something that has been on my mind for a couple of years, but through the visualizations, I am very clear what kind of a place that I want to have. Where would it be? And of course, ultimately, it's not just a resort, it's not just a place for people to retreat, but also it's to create an educational and vocational center in Cambodia, because the people there need a lot of help. It's not just about giving them houses, but it's also about giving them life skills. It's about giving them ability to learn soft skills as well, communications, for them to learn things like how to be a receptionist in the hotel, for example. So to create this education center for youths to learn, for families, for parents, for moms to learn, and then they can actually practice at the resort, so that they can become skilled and employable in the market, in the industry. So that is a dream that I have, to bring all of these elements of contribution together, and to actually create a very beautiful and a very safe and fun space for people to really enjoy their lives.
Wow, that's really good. I'm so looking forward to it. And talking about yoga, I've also been doing a bit of yoga and also moving towards sports for the last few years. And I can really see the synergy. It's not just the mind, the body plays a very big part in it. And of course, what goes into the body also determines how well your body is, right? Yeah. So, food, health, the mental state, enough sleep, and what we want to do. I think it's like a gear and a watch where everything works together. We need to tweak that. And that's something that, I think I find really interesting. And, the fact that you mentioned it also, I was like, hey, it's all flowing into it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Last question. So if you can tell, the camera and the audience, what's the one thing that you say you're going to impact and transform the world?
I think it will be to help people to celebrate everything that they do, a moment at a time. Moments of celebration, of rejoicing, of gratitude. Yes, it may seem like a fleeting kind of emotion, But I believe with nurturing, with education, with actually sharing and putting the word out there, you can actually bring people to rejoice and be happy for what they have even more. And this is the environment that I believe we want to create for our children in the future, for them to really understand that, you know, we don't have to be all this stern and strict all the time, but in fact, by just celebrating and rejoicing, that itself, the emotion of abundance, will actually help them to be better and better in their lives, to be able to lend helping hands to other people, to actually create a nurturing and beautiful environment of encouragement, of support, service, and love.
Thank you. Okay. So that was really nice. Okay. Basically, the last thing, if you can share with the audience, you know, where can they find you on Instagram, on Facebook? If you can help spell it out as well. Just please tell the.
Okay. For Facebook, you can look for me, Abundance Sociopreneur. That is ABUNDANCE SOCIOPRENEUR. So the page is still work in progress, but I'll do a lot of live videos there. I will share some of my thoughts and the experiences that we have in giving. It's not just about reacting to people, it's about responding, it's about nurturing and caring for them and the environment and sustainability and our loved ones, basically. To have fun, to enjoy life, and to enjoy and also be able to create our wildest dreams. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Fiona, for coming down today. It's a pleasure to hear your story and, you know, and sharing to the world, you know, what you went through and how you know, get to where you are today. And also, the most importantly, the one thing that you shared with the audience, you know, that was really powerful. Okay, so we're going to end it off here. So if all of you, I hope you liked what we did today with the interview. And if you love to watch more interviews to come, you know, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll see more videos and interviews to come.